Good morning, everyone. So today is diary entry number 11, I believe. Yes. Um, so, let's see where to begin. Well, this past weekend was really good for me, but also it was kind of hard because, no, not kind of, it was hard because I was struggling, and I'm starting to be aware of when I start more to focus on myself. This is when I start to think about my ex a lot, and it sucks because, you know, at least for me, I don't feel like there's anything wrong to allow myself to think about him for a little bit, but I also know that I need to, go about my day and not let those thoughts really dictate how my day goes or how my emotions go. And it just gets really frustrating at times, and I just I know it's gonna be like this for a little bit, and that sucks because all I want to do is be able to see him and speak to him, but I know right now that's not the best because I personally need to let go of that romantic and emotional attachment to him in order to attempt to be friends. Because my thing is, if I'm dating someone and we don't end on bad terms, which, I mean, there's a couple relationships that I was in that ended really badly, but this one and the previous one and the previous one before that, they all were very, I'm not going to say easy breakups, but they were a lot more easier for me to deal with, as far as like not being dumped and like being treated like crap, or it was the it was the past two, not the most recent, but the two before that were pretty mutual, and it was at a point where, okay, like, I really enjoy your company and I really like you, but I just see you as a friend, which, nobody likes being friend zoned, but I'd rather at least, still keep that bond and that connection that you built with that person, and, you know, grow as friends if that's what the case is. So I kept those friendships, and, I still talk to them here and there. And one of them that I was dating, I hadn't talked to him in like 3 years, and he ended up coming to Fresno and going to school here. And I was like, oh wow. I was like, okay. I was like, good for you. And I've seen him a couple times, but it's more of like every other couple months we will send a text or whatever and be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, hope you're doing well. And so I think with the most recent one, just because it was really serious, like, I will talk to my friends and my family about it, and they were like, you were head over heels because you have never ever thought about, moving in with somebody. And I understand, like, yes, sometimes it's better to like let things play out and not just like jump in head first. But as much as I wish I would take things slow, I honestly, as far as like everything that went on in the relationship, yes, I wish it was better. And um you're always gonna have, it's not a regret, because I feel like I don't have regrets. I feel like what it is it's lessons that I'm learning from. But I don't ever like to say regrets, because that means that you didn't want those things to happen, or you weren't enjoying what was happening. And I did. Like, even though there was a lot of things that wasn't the best, yes. Do I wish it was handled better? Yes. Do I wish I was more mentally aware as far as like communication and, expressing myself and being able to bring up conversations that maybe I felt would upset my partner? Yeah, I wish I would have spoken up about that, because I feel like a lot of the things that went on would have been avoided or dealt with before it got to the point that it was. And, I don't regret moving in with him. I don't regret going at the pace that we were, because I feel like everyone, as far as like relationships goes, everyone is different. Your relationship is what you make up of it. And you in your relationship have the free will to do and say and create whatever relationship you guys have. And for you to like stick to this stigma of like how couples should be and how they're meant to be, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know exactly what word I'm trying to say, but to me, it's okay that like we moved in quick and that we, we're going at the pace we were, because we were happy. We were in love, and, that it happened really fast. And I think because it was so serious, and because I was fully invested and basically, planning a future with this person, I feel like that is a huge reason why it's taking me so long to, be able to come back to myself and start loving myself and, being more dependent on myself, because I did become very codependent. I wanted to be with him every second of the day. I wanted to speak to him every second of the day. I wanted to see him every second of the day. Like, looking back, that's not what a relationship should be or what you should strive to either. And like, when I look back, it makes me see how unhealthy the relationship was and how unhealthy it was getting. And the sad part is, certain things that happened, I feel like, were maybe a cry for help on both ends. And I wish I would have seen that, because then, I would have been able to be more aware and acknowledge, like, okay, there's something going on in this relationship. And if we want this to work, we're going to have to like really sit down and find a solution and figure out what it's going to take to get to where we want to be, or where we aspire to be as a relationship or as a partnership. And I don't know, it's difficult to not see the good and the bad. And I don't ever, I used to hold grudges a lot. And, there's times where I feel like I still can, but I do my best not to, because one, it's not healthy. Two, it does nothing for your self-growth, and it doesn't do anything for your character as a person. And it just makes you very bitter and cold. And that's not something I want to be. And as much as I want to be upset at him and be upset at everything that went down, and be upset that we didn't realize things and like were able to like fix things as soon as possible, I'm like, I still love him. I still, I understand we both are flawed people, and that's okay. But I don't think I could ever hate him. He is someone who's very caring and forgiving, which is something I feel like that I have learned from him, because I'm someone that is very harsh at times, and I need to learn to forgive people a lot easier. And I'm sorry, I probably went on a tangent. But what I'm just trying to say is, I feel like when you're now having to go back to being independent and being comfortable by yourself, no matter what the situation is, if you really love somebody and you really invested every part of your being into this relationship and this person, it's hard. And the fact that some people are like, oh, like, just sit, like, you're gonna be okay, it's fine. Okay, yeah, I get it, but you're also not gonna be okay. This is a connection that you have embedded in your being, and like, it literally feels like you're cutting out a piece of yourself just to better yourself. Like, I guess in a way it's, I don't want to say toxic, but I guess you can say toxic because it's basically poisoning you. And that sounds so sad to, give an idea of, or like, what is the word I'm looking for? Basically, just an idea of what it's like to cut something out of you that is no longer good for you or no longer benefits you. And to say like it's something toxic is sad. I don't like acknowledging that, but this connection, in order for me to get to a good place mentally and emotionally to be able to be his friend and build that friendship with him, which I'm wanting to do because we get along so well and we connect on a lot of things, but we're just both not in a place to be together. And I'm starting to be okay with that, and he may not be in my life how I want him to be, but that's okay. And I'm learning to be okay with that, as hard as it is. And I am just grateful that I am becoming aware of the things that I'm learning and the things that I've learned from this relationship. And it just it's a lot. It's a lot emotionally, and it's hard. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with you cherishing your memories. Memories are something that you should always hold on to. But I'm also learning that those memories are memories, and where I'm at right now is reality and the present, and that is what I need to focus on. And you know, um, you really love and care for someone when you just want the best for them and you just want them to be happy. Even if, as hard as it sounds, even if you end up, realizing that they're with somebody else, or they're finding somebody else that's bringing them that smile that you used to give them, just you and the fact that you're hoping and wishing that they're happy and wishing that they find love just shows how much you cared about this person. And I I wish that we would get a second chance. And unfortunately that's not up to me, and that's not what I am gonna make my end goal for, because my end goal is just to be better and just to love myself and know my self-worth and be comfortable being alone and being independent. But I wish him the best and I love him, and even if he were to end up with somebody new, I just hope that he's happy, and I hope that they treat him well and that they accept him and love him for who he is and all the dorky things that he loves. And it's funny that, you know, certain people can come into your life and really change an outlook that you have that's pre-perceived. Because before him, I used to always tell myself, and my mom and my family can attest to this, but I used to say that, you know, I was gonna always be alone and I was never gonna find love. And I used to say that love was just a figment of people's imaginations. And, you know, when you really find it, you believe me, you know, you feel like you're just floating the whole time. And then, you know, things happen and you fall back down to reality. And these are just things that I've been reflecting on lately. And, you know, I just wanted to share with you guys. But, you know, I'm gonna be okay. I may be not okay at the moment or in a couple of days, but I'm gonna be okay. And I'm growing at my own pace. I am doing what I can in the time that I can. And even if it's just one foot that's going forward in the moment, then so be it. You know, before I end this video, there's something that I heard that I wish people would stop saying, and I wish people would really let sink in. We are human. We make mistakes. Whether, you know, we're in a good place in our life or a bad place in our life. If you're in a great working and loving relationship, you're still going to make mistakes. If you're in a bad relationship, you're still going to make mistakes. But there's such a stigma of coming from one bad relationship and coming into a new one. And it's been so engraved that people are broken and damaged and, you know, not whole. And the truth of the matter is, you are whole. You're not broken. You're not damaged. And I wish that stigma would just be broken, because just because somebody else didn't work out for you doesn't mean that you're a broken or shattered person. It just means you're a flawed person who's ever evolving, and you're not meant to be with that person, or you're just not compatible. Or maybe you are meant to be with that person, just not right now, because you both have things you need to grow through and work on and find a way to really, you know, be your own foundation to be able to be a whole person, to be in a relationship. The one thing that I have been engraving in my mind is, I do not want to be with someone who is not a whole person anymore. Because me not being a whole person and that other person not being a whole person, us leaning on each other, is not how a relationship should be. We should both be strong pillars of foundation, coming together, being a partnership, not depending on each other. And, you know, yes, you should have your partner's support and you should support your partner, but you should not have to depend on them. There's something that I read that said, if you truly love somebody, you can look them in the eye and say, I don't need you, because you don't. Do not forget that, yes, you can be sleeping next to somebody, but when you go to bed, you're going to bed with yourself. You're not going to bed with anybody else but yourself inside your own body. And, you know, it's taken me a while to really let that sink in and really see what that's saying to me, but I want to be a whole and complete person. I want to be my own foundation. I want to be something that's added into someone's life, not become someone's life. And I want to have my own life and not make someone my life. I want to add them into my life. So I just want to leave you guys with that. And, you know, I really, really appreciate everybody that's been watching, everybody that's supporting, everybody that's just taking their time out of their day, because I don't know if you're busy or not, but the fact that you're taking time out of your day to watch these diary entries just really speaks volume to me. And it it makes me feel like the purpose of this project is being met. And that just makes me so happy. So I will leave you guys with that. I love you guys and I appreciate all the support, and I will see you guys in the next entry.